Hi students, as you're all preparing for your final exam, here is a video that will help you to score 60 plus marks easily in your mathematics final examination. This time, in part A, you have the third question from trigonometry, which will be a question to convert the given angle either from radian to degree or degree to radian. You have fifth question, that is to solve one variable inequality, one of the easiest question you have. Then the ninth question will be from straight lines, where you have to find the slope of a line, and the 13th question from mathematical reasoning, that is to find the negation of a statement. So altogether, 4 questions you have, which are easy questions through which you can score 4 marks. Then we have the part B, where the 20th question will be from trigonometry, where the question will be based on S equal to R theta. 22nd question is also from trigonometry. Maybe this question will be to find the trigonometric value of allied angles. 31st question from mathematical reasoning, where you will have to find the contrapositive and the converse of a statement. And the 32nd question from statistics, where this question will be based on coefficient of variance. So here also, we have about 4 easy questions through which you could score about 8 marks. So apart from this question, you could have other easy questions also, but these questions are most predictable questions I'm talking about. Next, we have part C. Here, the 35th question from sets, and the question will be based on this formula, that is n of a union b is equal to n of a plus n of b minus n of a intersection b. 36th question from relations, where we will have to express the given relation in Roster form, then find the domain and the range. 39th question is most predictable, that is to solve the quadratic equation. 47th question, it will be from derivatives, where you will have to use the first principle to find the derivative of a function. Then we have 48th question, that is to prove that a number is irrational. Mostly it will be root 7 or root 2, root 5, root 3, whatever it may be. And this is almost a short question from mathematical reasoning. Then we have 51st question. It will be from probability, where the question most probably going to be based on probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So here we have about 6 questions, easy questions. Through these questions, you could score about 18 marks easily. And in part D, I have listed here about 8 questions, but you are actually supposed to write 6 questions. You could choose any 6 questions here. All these questions are almost short questions. The first one is a 52nd question. It will be from functions, where you will have to define a function, then draw the graph of it, then domain in the range. Here you will have to learn about 4 questions, which I'll tell you later what are those 4 questions, out of which one will come. Then we have 53rd question. It is from trigonometry, and it will be based on the transformation formula. Then we have 54th question from mathematical induction. So here also you don't have much options, maybe about 3 to 4 questions if you study. One of that question will come for the exam. 55th question is from complex numbers. Here you will have to express the given complex number in polar form. So the complex number could be anything. You should be ready for any complex number, but once you learn the procedure, you will know how to do it. Then we have 56th question from inequalities, where you will have to solve the system of inequality using a graph sheet. Okay. Then we have 58th question. This is a binomial theorem itself. The theorem will be asked here. Most probably they won't ask any question. The theorem itself will be asked. 61st question is from 3D. Here you'll have to write the section formula. And the 62 question number, it will be the limit of sine x by x as x tends to 0, which is equal to 1. That proof you will have to write. These are all more or less short questions. And if you get ready for any 6 of these questions, I'm sure you'll be able to get 30 marks from this section. Then you have from part E, here one of the short question which you have been studying from the beginning of the year, that is cos A plus B is equal to cos A into cos B minus sin A into sin B. This proof, if you learn, you can easily score 6 marks here. So altogether, I think you will have about 66 marks. And apart from this, if you find any easy question, you could answer it and you could score about 80 marks easily in first PU mathematics. Let me now go through these questions one by one. The third question, I may not solve these questions. I'm just showing you what could be the possible questions. So the third question here, you'll have to convert the given angle from radian to degree. So it could be a question like this also, where you will have to solve the or convert the angle from degree to radian. So here are few possibilities. If you practice these questions, I think you should be able to do it in the exam also. Then we have the fifth question. Here you will have to solve the linear inequality with a single variable, and it will be one of the easiest question. The ninth question, it will be a question where you will have to find the slope of the line. So there are three different possibilities here. The first possibility is if they have given the angle, let us say the angle is given. If theta is given, then the slope m is nothing but tan theta. If they are given us 2 points, let us say x1, y1 and x2, y2. In that case, the slope of the line is nothing but m equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And the third possibility is when they have given us the equation of the line, that is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. In such case, the slope of the line is given by m equal to minus a by b. So you should be ready for all three formulae here. The question will be based on one of these. Then we have the 13th question. So here you'll have to write the negation of a statement. And one of the easiest way to write the negation of a statement is just add it is false that, then write the statement as it is, whatever they have given, they write the statement as it is, it becomes the negation of a statement. You can't expect an easy question than this. In part B, the 20th question, this question I said it will be based on the relationship between S, R and theta, where S is the length of the arc, R is the radius of the circle, theta is the angle at the center. So any two quantities will be given to you and you will have to find the third quantity. One thing that you should remember here is that theta is always in radian here, not in degrees. The 22nd question, here you will have to evaluate the trigonometric values of the allied angles like this. So few things that you need to remember here is, what should you do if there is a negative sign? So whenever there is a negative sign, in the case of cos and its reciprocal sec, you have to ignore those signs. But in the other cases, that is in the case of the sine, let us say sine of minus theta or tan of minus theta, cosec of minus theta and cot of minus theta, you have to take out of those minus signs and write it as minus sine theta. This will be equal to minus tan theta. The third one will be equal to minus cosec theta, and the last one will be minus cot theta. So, but in the case of cos and sec, you can just ignore those minus signs. That's the first thing. Next thing is, if you have huge values like this or like this, so what should you be doing is, you go on deducting 360 from there until you get a small angle. Then you could proceed it. For example, in this question, if you deduct 360, I think through 2 times you can deduct. And what remains is 45. So sine 45 is nothing but 1 by root 2. So it becomes easy. Let's move on to the next question, 31st question. This will be from mathematical reasoning. So here there could be two possibilities. One is to identify the component statements from the compound statement. What are the component statements? They are actually the smaller statements. For example, in the first question here, two lines intersect at a point. This is the first component statement. Two lines are parallel. That is the second component statement. This is how you'll have to write those component statements, identify them and write them separately. Or the other possibility that you could have is you have to write the contrapositive or the converse of a statement. Let us say we have a statement, if P, then Q, then the converse of the statement. The converse of the statement is nothing but if Q, then P. Just you will have to reverse those two component statements, just reverse them. You get the converse of a statement, and if it is contrapositive, it will be if negation Q, then negation P. Let's practice these questions. They are easy questions. You could score marks easily. That to 2 marks you can get it from here. The 32nd question, the most predictable one, that is based on the CV, that is the coefficient of variance. So we have a formula here to remember, that is CV is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100. So CV is the coefficient of variance, sigma is the standard deviation, x bar is the arithmetic mean. Here, any two of the quantities will be given to you. You will have to find out the third quantity. For example, in the first question, they have given CV as 70, standard deviation, that is sigma as 16, and we'll have to find out x bar, that is the arithmetic mean. So just substitute, simplify, and you'll get the answer. All you need to remember is this one formula. In part C, we have the 35th question based on, I said, n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. For example, the 40th question, if you see here, you have n of H union E. H stands for Hindi speaking people, E stands for English speaking people. So total there are 400 people, out of which n of H, that is the Hindi speaking people, are 250. Then we have n of E, that's equal to 200. And what are we supposed to find out? How many people speak both the languages? That means both means the intersection. Whenever the word both comes, you should know you are supposed to find out the intersection. So, and you'll have to use the formula, which I told you in the beginning, and you can get the answer easily here. Next, we have the 36th question, where a relation will be given to you, and you will have to write the given relation in the roster form. Then you have to find the domain as well as the range. So it is one of the easiest questions. For example, the first one, if you see here, the relation R is given as collection of all x comma y such that y is equal to 3x. I have rewritten it this way. It becomes easy for us later on to find out the elements of the relation. So here both x and y should belong to the set A, and the set A is given here. So what are the elements? If I take x equal to 1, I would get y is equal to 3, x equal to 2. If I take it becomes 6. X equal to 3, if I take it becomes 9. X equal to 4, if I take y becomes 12. Can I take x equal to 5? Then in that case, so y becomes, I think, 15, but 15 is missing here. So you cannot take that element. So we'll have to stop here. So now what is the domain here? Domain is nothing but the first part of the order pair, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is the range? The range is nothing but the second part of the ordered pair, that is 3, 6, 9, and 12. Going on to the 39th question. Here, all you need to remember is this formula, that is x equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So when you substitute the values of a, b, and c, definitely you are going to get this expression, that is the discriminant as negative. And whenever you have root of some negative number, what you should do is, for example, if you get root of minus 7, you will have to replace it as I root 7. So this thing you will have to keep it in your mind. 47th question, Some students might find it difficult, but since it is most predictable question, I have kept it in the list here. That is to find the derivative of sin x or cos x. Once in a way they might ask a tan x, but I feel that they will stick on to any one of these functions. Using the first principle, you will have to evaluate the derivative of these two functions. Anyone will be asked. So please check your notes or the textbook and get ready for this question. 48th question from mathematical reasoning. Here you will have to prove by the method of contradiction that root 7 is irrational, or they might ask root 2, or they might ask root 5. Any one question will be asked for sure. We have the 51st question from probability, where you will have to use the formula probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. And easily you can solve this kind of questions. Only thing is that you should be able to identify what is given there. The data you will have tried first and accordingly use the formula and find out the required quantity. Coming to the last part, that is part D. Here, 52nd question. It is a short question from functions where you will have to define a function. Either it is a modulus function or identity, signum function or greatest integer function. Then you'll have to draw the graph, then write the domain and the range. So the definition will take 1 mark, graph will take 2 marks, domain will take 1 mark, range also will take 1 mark. So total 5 marks. Next, we have a question from trigonometry, where the question will be based on the transformation formula. So here you'll have to remember 4 formula. The first one is cos A plus cos B equal to, it is 2 times cos A plus B by 2 into cos A minus B by 2. Then we have second formula as cos A minus cos B. This is one of the unique formula we have, that is minus 2 times sine A plus B by 2 into sine A minus B by 2. The third formula would be sine A plus sine B is equal to 2 times sine A plus B by 2 into cos A minus B by 2. And the last fourth formula is sine A minus sine B. It is equal to 2 times cos A plus B by 2 into sine A minus B by 2. I think it is easy to remember because in all the 4 formulas, the angles are almost same. That is A plus B by 2 and A minus B by 2. And only in the second formula, you've got a minus sign here. And you'll have to compare this formula and then you'll have to remember them. Using this formula, you can easily solve one of these questions. Please practice them so that easily you can solve them in the exam. 54th question is from mathematical induction. Over the years, we have been seeing that they have been asking either this, the first question or the second question. Once in a way, they might ask other questions, but most probably I would feel one of these 2 questions will be asked. You could also, if you want, you could get ready for, let us say, 1 into 2 plus 2 into 3 plus etc. up to n into n plus 1 is equal to n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 divided by 3. So this question also, you could just practice it just for safety. Otherwise, I think the first 2 questions, if you know, it would be more than enough. Suppose something else comes, also you should have the options because I have listed 8 questions there. So you have got 2 extra questions to know. Then we have the 55th question, that is from complex numbers. Here, any questions could be asked, not just the question which I've listed here, but if you know how to express the given complex number in polar form, then you know how to go about here. So if you have absolutely no idea about this question, I don't know whether you can attempt them, but if you know about it, you better practice a little bit so that you become really good at these problems and you can easily score marks. That is 5 marks you can get it from here. We have 56th question from linear inequalities, where this question has been, they have been asking this kind of questions every year. Here you'll have to use the graph sheet and solve it. Okay, for you'll have to at least 2-3 questions you'll have to practice, then only you'll be able to do it in the exam. Just by reading, you won't be able to solve them. There are a lot of things that you need to remember here, small things. So only by solving you will get them. 58th question. So this is based on the binomial theorem. Here you have to prove the theorem itself. And this is almost a short question. So where you have to prove the theorem. There are no other possibilities they will ask. So this is the theorem. If you thoroughly learn, you will know how to solve it. If you want the proof of it, I have made one more video on the binomial theorem. You could just check that in my channel. Then we have 61st question from 3D. This question will be always from section formula, where you have to find out the point which divides the given 2 points in the ratio m:n. So they may not ask any other questions. I feel the 50 month will be definitely the section formula itself from 3D. 62nd question. Again, this is a short question. It will be based on the limit of sine x by x as x tends to 0 equal to 1. The proof will be asked, but they might also ask a sub question here along with it. Sometimes they may not ask, but if they ask, we can't really say what they would ask. It will be one of these, or it could be different also. But you don't have to prove it. Just use this formula and try to evaluate these identities. Moving on to the last part of the question paper, that is the part E. Here I have given you only one question. In fact, it is the whole part carries 10 marks, but this question actually carries only 6 marks. The other part, students might find it difficult because it could be, there are different options there. It could be a question from sequencing series, that too from special series, or they might give it from trigonometry, or the second part also could be given from derivatives. I feel along with this question, they will give a question from sequencing series, that too from special series. But there also, there are 2-3 possibilities, and students might find it difficult. So here, this question you have been studying since the beginning of the year. That is the trigonometry chapter, and the teachers will have given a lot of importance to this question. So I'm sure by the end of this year, you know how to solve it. So if you know this one question, you will know, you can be sure that you could get 6 marks here. So altogether about 66 marks I have listed here. And I'm sure with your hard work also, you'll be able to at least 20 marks more. So easily can score about 80+ marks. So wish you all the best, students. Practice well. Without practice, you cannot really write mathematics exam. So wish you all the best. Take care. Thank you.